welcome to the Sunday News with Cadaea, that's me, which is basically just notable gaming, tech, and influencer news from the past week, but as quickly as possible. It's ADHD-friendly! Today we'll be covering the highlights from the first week in 2024, starting with Arcane Season 2 is coming to Netflix in November 2024. It's such a good show, even if you know nothing about League of Legends, and if you haven't caught up yet, well, you've got 10 months to do so. Amouranth recently launched her own Influencer AI that's allegedly based on her own personality, and it can send custom videos, photos, and voice notes. It also apparently cleared $34,000 in revenue in its first 24 hours, so clearly there's a demand for it. The only question I have is, do you think I'd be able to interview her AI for a video? It's been announced that Jack Black will be playing Steve in the live-action Minecraft movie. I've got nothing else to add on that because I know nothing about Minecraft. Does Steve even have a story in the game? Who knows? The Pokemon Company has donated 50 million yen to the Japanese Red Cross to aid earthquake rescue efforts. It's really not been a good start to the year for Japan, and I'm hoping that that's the last of their bad luck. Bossa Studios, the company responsible for Surgeon Simulator and I Am Bread, recently laid off 19 people, which equates to a third of their total workforce. This is just the latest in layoffs in the gaming industry after a pretty turbulent year to work in video games. I'm praying that we see a change in 2024. A 13-year-old boy, Willis Gibson, made history by beating Tetris. And by beat, we mean that he hit level 157 and a score of 999,999, causing the game to freeze. This is the first known instance of that happening and was previously thought to be impossible. And then a Sky News reporter went viral after covering the achievement by saying, as a mother, step away from the screen, go outside, get some fresh air, beating Tetris is not a life goal. First of all, I'm really glad that not all mothers put down children and downplay their achievements. Second of all, she knows nothing about his life or goals. The boy actually dedicated the win to his father who had passed a month earlier, and his father was very supportive of his gaming. Tetris was probably a really great distraction for him. Thirdly, what is an appropriate life goal then? I didn't realise we weren't allowed ones that revolve around our passions. Literally anyone can read a teleprompter and be a douchebag to children, you know? On a brighter note, the creator of the game and the company's founder both surprised Willis with a Zoom call to congratulate him. That's sweet. Star Citizen is apparently going to be selling a ship-back DLC that's going to cost $48,000. And remember, that's for a game that still hasn't actually released and it's been in alpha for about 10 years. This DLC apparently includes 175 ships, and players must have already spent $10,000 to purchase the bundle. I'll admit I know very little about Star Citizen, but this confuses me. It seems insane. Heck, I don't even let myself buy like all the pretty skins on Rainbow Six Siege. This isn't really gaming news, but I do think it's pretty cool that we can now officially say that GTA 6 is coming next year. Move over Xbox Fridge, it's the Xbox Toaster's time to shine. It's currently available in the US at Walmart and in France at Micromania, but will be rolling out globally over the next month. I also realised after writing this script that I was actually sent an email back in November asking if I wanted one, and I have no idea if my management replied. I don't even own a toaster right now, which have changed their guidelines yet again and are no longer allowing implied nudity. I'm sure we all saw that one coming. However, I do wish there wasn't separate rules for female presenting people and everyone else. That seems a bit strange to me. A streamer was accused of making crack in a car park while live on stream. And of course it was Extraemily. She was actually making steak next to an Outback restaurant to do a her steak versus their steak type comparison, and while yeah, it does look pretty sus, she cleared it up quickly, and I don't know, I swear whenever she opens her mouth it's like the least threatening and polite voice. The Steam Awards results are in and they've confused everyone. I mean, I love Starfield, but most innovative gameplay is not really accurate and we shouldn't be rewarding lack of innovation. The more confusing one for me was Red Dead Redemption 2 winning the Labour of Love Award, an award specifically for devs who continue to nurture and support the game. When was the last time it got a major update? What did it do in the last year to deserve this? I'm not saying that it's not a good game, but just like Starfield, the award doesn't really fit. However, given it's just the Steam Awards and ultimately down to player votes, chances are people were just voting for the games that they'd played, and you can't deny that both of those are very popular titles. Kim Kardashian's Hollywood game app is shutting down after a decade. That was a thing? For a decade? The Mickey Mouse horror game has had to change its name already after being accused of using Nazi terminology. And it's true, a game about gassing and infestation with 88 in the title seems very suspect, but the devs maintain that they only went with 88 because it's set in the 80s and they like the symmetry of the number 88. Now, it genuinely might be an unfortunate coincidence, but I personally think that's a bit too hard to believe. However, saying that, I do know many people in my life who are so far detached from this kind of thing, they would have no idea of the significance of the 88 number. The game is now going to be called Infestation Origins, and I won't be playing it either way because, you know, horror, I'm a wuss. Star Wars Outlaws is still on track to release this year. Disney recently put out a blog stating it would launch in late 2024, which was promptly corrected by Ubisoft to just 2024. Now, I might be stupid because I don't see the harm in saying late 2024 unless it's releasing earlier in the year, but I'd be surprised if it was earlier in the year given we don't currently have a release date. Who knows? Wizards of the Coast, Apex Legends, Wacom, Xbox, and Game Informer have all been criticised for allegedly using AI for their art, with Wizards actually doubling down and saying that they didn't use AI. Look, I'm not anti-AI at all, I use it a lot, but AI should complement your workflow. It shouldn't be replacing a job that could have been carried out by a human. For example, in this case, artists that they can definitely afford to pay. Jukai Studio has shut down just a couple of months after releasing the game Stray Souls. Poor reception to what reviewers are describing as an unpolished horror game that misses the mark, as well as multiple cyber attacks led to this decision. Pokemon have recently launched a Dragonite-themed collection with Fendi in honor of 2024 being the year of the dragon. Now, there are actually some really cute pieces here, but of course they are Fendi prices, so way out of my budget. Fans are also annoyed, and rightly so, about them selling a Dragonite plushie for over £1,600, which sold out, by the way, made exclusively from lamb and calf leather. I know a big part of Pokemon is making cute animals fight each other, but that's not nearly as bad as slaughtering baby animals to make something like this. If Fendi is also out of your budget, don't worry, you can pick up a Pokemon Go version of the Fendi Dragonite hoodie for your avatar by redeeming this code in-game. And you can also get your hands on an exclusive t-shirt and hat by spinning sponsored Pokestops at participating Fendi retail and pop-up locations. PlayStation and Xbox are fighting again. Last week, PlayStation posted this tweet about the Yakuza titles in their sale, all pretty good prices by the way. Then Xbox quickly followed up with a reminder that you can play all of these and more with Game Pass. At least it was a fun back and forth, and the only issue I have with this is that you will need to block out about 6 months in your calendar to finish all of those games. Alright, now let's move on to the notable gaming releases for this month. War Hospital is releasing on the 11th, Prince of Persia: The Lost Crown on the 18th, Bulletstorm VR for PSVR 2 also on the 18th, The Last of Us Part 2 Remastered is January 19th, Apollo Justice Ace Attorney Trilogy is coming on the 25th, Like a Dragon Infinite Wealth is coming on the 26th, Tekken 8 is also sharing that day on the 26th. And at some point, apparently Palworld is hitting early access. Okay, that is everything that I wanted to cover today. Let me know if you like this format and I'll keep doing it on a weekly basis. I also wanted to highlight a comment of the week, but obviously this is the first one, so I don't have any, but maybe next week, so don't forget to leave a comment below. Thank you for listening, and I'll see you in the next one.